Right, well, this is an interesting turn of events. If you didn't know already, Jimmy Kimmel has now been cancelled, like indefinitely. I say cancelled; he's been fired. Right, he's been fired. His show's been taken off the air. So that's him being fired, not cancelled. I mean, the show, as a technicality, has been cancelled, I guess. But yeah, no, he's just been fired, effectively. But it is interesting, right? Apparently, Jimmy Kimmel planned a very hot monologue which would target Trump supporters. And that is before Disney pulled the plug. Iger and Walden said no. They were like, no. No, we're done with this. Which, you'd think finally Disney learned that they need to get out of politics and just entertain people. So, like, good for them, I guess. But pretty crazy that this is the turn of events. So anyway, we're going to take a look at this. Please do hit subscribe, turn those bell notifications on. Help me reach 500,000 subscribers. That'd be wicked. So on September 17th, 2025, Disney made the extraordinary decision to pull Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air indefinitely. Now, it is really important to note, and I've said this a few times in any video I've made about this, is Jimmy Kimmel's ratings, so the viewership, was terrible. It had basically been down by 50%, like pretty damn bad. You know? Started to do okay. Well, it was okay in the new year. And then, the early start of the year. And then it just started to flatline. Well, go down. Not flatline, go down. So the move for them taking him off the air did come after Jimmy Kimmel's false and inflammatory comments about the killing of Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk. So the remarks also accused Trump supporters of twisting the truth while simultaneously exploiting the tragedy. So the fallout has obviously now escalated into like a pretty major entertainment controversy. It's not even really a controversy, right? His numbers were crap. Yeah, like the system might congratulate him and give him Emmys and or whatever, but he's shit. You know, he came out and was like, "Oh, I don't view myself as someone to politics, blah, 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 blah." It's like, oh, shut up, man. You're full of shit. So at the centre of the firestorm is the intersection of politics, broadcast obligations, and Disney's own corporate leadership. So reports apparently suggest that Kimmel was not only refusing to walk back his remarks, but had also prepared an even sharper monologue for the night his show was yanked. A monologue insiders described as very hot and directly aimed at supporters of President Trump. Yeah, that's a really smart thing to do, isn't it, mate? It's a really smart thing to do. Like, Trump did win. He won. He won by, a pretty big margin. And so you're just going to keep lambasting the majority of Americans? Yeah, you're dumb. You're dumb. Stop doing it. And so because Kimmel is such an ego, he was like, no, I'm not going to walk this back because I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Fucking prick. Disney were like, nah, mate, we're just pulling you off the air then. So what did he say on the air? Well, he said that Trump supporters were desperately trying to characterise this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. Well, he wasn't one of them, so that is just what it is. So the quote immediately sparked outrage. News media has been covering the fact that Kirk's alleged assassin had reportedly sprawled supposed anti-fascist propaganda messaging on his ammo casings and lived with his romantic partner, a biological male who was transitioning to female. You can't transition to female, but fine. His parents are reportedly conservative Trump supporters, but that doesn't make the alleged killer one. So simply put, what Kimmel said was false, right? It was just misinformation. Or just willful disinformation, basically. So no, apparently this is all Disney. Disney did this. So according to Fox Business and Deadline, the final decision to suspend the show came from CEO Bob Iger himself. And also Disney Entertainment co-chair Dana Walden. They both personally signed off on what the company is calling an indefinite preemption. So that's pretty crazy. Maybe Bob Iger's finally learning. Bob Iger and Disney, by the way, has had a terrible run at the box office this year. Whereas Warner Brothers has done very well. Made history, actually, for consecutive movies reaching a certain margin on their opening weekend. Pretty crazy. So, in plain terms, that means the show is not cancelled, but it is removed from the schedule with no announced return date. Disney has substituted reruns and alternate programming in its place. I mean, it is basically cancelled, right? Like, it is basically cancelled. So multiple ABC affiliates, including Nexstar and Sinclair, reportedly pushed back against Kimmel's comments. Sinclair executives are said to have demanded not only an apology, but even charitable donations to Turning Point USA and the Kirk family. Sinclair will air Charlie Kirk Memorial Special in place of Kimmel's show on September 19th. So that's on the day of recording this. This will go out on September 20th, though, this video. Do apologise, that's just the way things run sometimes. So the affiliates' resistance, combined with regulatory pressure, left Disney in a corner. Disney were just like, yeah, we're just going to have to do this, basically. So, well, apparently, it's emerged Kimmel had no intention of apologising. Instead, he prepared to double down. Fox News host Jesse Waters reported that Disney asked Kimmel to walk back his remarks. Kimmel refused. And insiders told The Hollywood Reporter he was gearing up to deliver a very hot monologue that would take direct aim at supporters of President Trump and accuse conservatives of deliberately distorting his words. So that was reportedly the breaking point, and executives were like, yeah, no, you're done. See ya, actually. And that's why it was pulled hours before broadcast. So, I mean, is he fired? No, not like technically, but he is, right? Like, he's under contract. But I mean, they could just be like, no, we're never having you back. So he is off. He is off the air. Which is quite comical, really, because the entertainment industry has gone into, like, Jimmy Kimmel survival mode. They're like, no, Jimmy Kimmel, no, he's amazing, no. I don't know why. Like, he's not that funny. He's not funny. He's just the mouth. Well, I do know why, because he's the mouthpiece to the Democrat Party. But I think this is really good. Like, I think this is a good sign, at least industry-wise, that, he could like, Disney, for instance, could finally be learning their lesson that they need to back out of politics. I mean, goddamn, like, it took them long enough to realise they should probably stop doing stuff. But, I mean, this is good. There's good news if that is the case. So, and it's funny as well, like, people like this, just complete ideologues, not willing to double down, not willing to realise or even just feign a bit of decency. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could just be like, well, yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, apologies. And, like, at least you then look good. If you know that you're a psycho, I mean, at least you could fake it being a nice person. But you didn't even want to do that. What a loser. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below. Bye-bye now.